ANZ Expects Bad Loans. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article from the ABC News about, ANZ boss Shane Elliott warning that bad loans will become a reality. Now, it's good that the banks are actually discussing this. They seem to be pushing the can down the road as fast as they can, or as far as they can. Holiday after holiday after holiday. What worries me the most is the examples in the media where perhaps to try and get sympathy, professionals have been coming forward and saying how they're essentially dependent upon these mortgage holidays to keep them in their home. Is this the only thing stopping forced sales materializing right now and a big hit to property prices? We've looked at other videos now where everyone is predicting property to decrease 10 to 15% from the NAB's results. Sentiment in housing, residential housing, has plummeted to the lowest levels it's ever been. And, well, if bad loans start to materialize in forced sales, property's going to take a hit. It just has to. The boss of one of Australia's biggest banks concedes that not all borrowers will survive the economic fallout from the pandemic, while backing the extension of loan payment deferrals as a lifeline. The bank will extend loan payment deferrals until March 31 for some borrowers. So think about this. If nearly a year you're getting an extension on your mortgage, not paying, still getting interest, if you're that desperate, maybe you should sell now. Or maybe people are in such a hole, they're just going to keep going. They've got no choice. It won't make a difference. ANZ Chief Executive Shane Elliott told the ABC's AM program there will be loan impairments as some borrowers have little prospects for getting back on their feet. We can't save everybody, but we can save a lot of people. The people who have positive prospects of getting back into employment and getting their business started again. Well, not when Melbourne, you've got probably 15% of businesses are going to go under or aren't going to open again. And what happens if we have second repeat lockdowns in other parts of the country? Again, if we believe that you really don't have a prospect of paying back your loan, we have an obligation to impair that loan and work with you on a solution. There you go. This is not a get out of jail free card. But if it's the right thing to call it a day and say this business isn't viable or your home isn't viable, then it's sadly our responsibility to have that conversation. So they're laying the groundwork for impending forced sales. Forced sales. However, Mr. Elliott welcomed the 4-month extension of the initial 6-month loan repayment deferrals, which were on track to hit a potential catastrophic cliff in late September when the emergency measures were scheduled to end. The Australian Prudential Regulation Authority has set a new deadline, signing off on extending the deferral until March 31 next year to ensure distressed loans are not treated as arrears or impairments. Mr. Elliott rejected concerns that a failure by banks to extend the deferrals could spark a housing catastrophe, but refused to rule out potential foreclosures on bad loans next year. So as I was saying, this is when we're going to see this. We're going to see this start to materialize next year. I was saying February. I was anticipating you'd get people going crazy over the Christmas period and then boom, it'll hit them then. But no, they're letting you go spending on Christmas. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to pay off those debts until March. Bloody hell. Didn't I say they're going to chuck everything they can at the housing? It's all we got. It's all we got. The 4-month extension is critically important. We believe that a lot of them will get back on and start paying, he said. Maybe people are just smartly using this to build up a reserve so they can get back in, to build up their business. But what if they're one of those, like Melbourne, one of those 15% of businesses that aren't going to come back in the CBD? Are they just stockpiling cash to do a runner? We can't do the jingle mail like they can in the States. It's a bit different over here. It's not like people are giving up, frankly. Most are hanging on and they need a bit of time. Since the original support package was announced in March, ANZ has provided repayment deferrals on more than 100,000 home, personal, small business and commercial accounts. The Australian Banking Association says around 800,000 borrowers across all its members have their loan repayments on deferral. 800,000 borrowers are on deferral. So what would happen if you start getting a few edge cases having to do forced sales, and then prices start creeping down one after the other? The agent says, we've got to sell, knock 50 grand off it. Oh, it's not moving, knock another 50 grand off it. Then you get a snowballing effect, guys. How many people are not going to be in a position to borrow? Maybe they're all good now. What happens in March? What happens if the recession continues? How many people are going to start being in negative equity? Rents are going down too. Won't be able to afford repayments as well. That's a whole other sector. A National Australia Bank executive has told the business that around 80% of customers the bank has spoken to so far want to keep their loan repayments on hold. 80% want to stay on hold. That doesn't scream confidence, does it? If anything, you want to make a dent in your loan. You want it gone. You want to get the shackles of debt off your back. But I guess that's not cool anymore. Or maybe they just can't do it. They can't do it. They've just hit the fan. Everything's fallen over. So here's the thing. The biggest risk of all of this is people just falling down and not getting back up again. You've got to reach out to your friends that could be in trouble. Particularly those of you that are prepared, that are in a good position. If you've got a friend that didn't believe anything you said, you're a stupid idiot. Yeah, I've got 4 mortgages, and they're to the hilt. It can be a bit of a dent, and you don't want people doing anything stupid. Because it's only money and material crap. I mean, come on. In 5 years' time, it can all be completely different again. Life can be good. Sometimes getting the burden of running the rat race off your back can be the best thing that can happen to people. NAB's Group Executive for Personal Banking, Rachel Slade, said the bank is at the early stages of starting to check in with borrowers who have deferred repayments, but has already spoken to thousands of people. From this week, we'll speak to about 10,000 a week, Ms. Slade said. For those that we've checked in with, about 1 in 5 have opted to start making repayments again. But obviously, we know there are many of our customers that are doing tough. Only 1 in 5, 20%. So the ANZ boss expects a JobKeeper extension. Mr. Elliott expects the 6-week lockdown restrictions and border closures between Victoria and New South Wales will most likely mean more applications for repayment deferrals. This is a bit of a setback. I don't want to overplay it. Yes, it's going to be tough. We'll probably see another short-term spike, Mr. Elliott said. I don't think it's going to be overwhelming, though. He also expects that more emergency stimulus will be provided to extend the $70 billion JobKeeper program, which is currently scheduled to wind up in late September, to avoid another cliff. So how long can they keep kicking this can down the bloody road, guys? How much debt do future generations want to be burdened with? How advanced do we need to get with our modern monetary theory to create the illusion that increasing money supply won't affect the purchasing power of our money? Don't worry, it's not. I love the people who say it doesn't matter. Under what precedent? What precedent? Look at history. Look at history. That's all I say. We're not that smart as the past. Our advanced modeling will always reach a point where it can't keep going. It all comes down to consumer confidence. Maybe I guess with apps and the way we've been conditioned, you can keep people going. Maybe. I wouldn't bet on it. I think the idea that the government just pulls the rug on September 30, they're not foolish. They've handled this well to date, and I expect they'll continue to do so. Mr. Elliott rejects speculation that the federal government might step in with a mortgage subsidy to further assist distressed borrowers, saying he would be reluctant to favour one significant class of people over another. There you go, everyone. There you go. Predictions that JobKeeper will continue, but so many people are dependent on these mortgage holidays. 800,000 borrowers, extending until March next year. And some people just are going to have to learn the hard way that they've over-leveraged. How many people don't have anything set aside? How many professionals have been going too close to the edge to keep up with the Joneses, with the neighbors. And in some ways, I don't blame people. We've got no training, no education, no culture of preparing for a rainy day anymore. We've only known good times for so long. We were taught nothing at school, nothing at university, unless you specifically focused on dealing with finance or preparing for a rainy day. Hopefully we'll come out of this a stronger, tougher, more resilient nation. Hopefully. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon for a small monthly fee. You can support us via using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or you can support us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.